Everybody wants to be successful, and yet we all have different ideas of what that is. Finding success is the journey we embark upon to go and get what's ours. We are willing to travel down within to find our greatness buried deep inside of us, questioning society's views and flipping the script, putting our own stamp on life. We're here because our future is within our control. Finding success is how we grab hold of what is possible. The relentless pursuit of success starts here.
Hey guys, welcome back to Finding Success podcast from me, Alex. Me, Adam. Episode 15 now. Going to be about financial freedom, the big one. But before we get into it, if you don't already, follow us on Instagram. Leave us a review if you enjoy this podcast and all of that. We really appreciate it. It does help out ourselves massively. So, Dodds, financial freedom. Talk to me. What is it?
Yeah, it's a big one, financial freedom, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, before we get started on financial freedom, I actually want to talk about financial freedom in itself. Because when you speak to people who, you mention financial freedom, and you ask them, do you want to be financially free? Near enough, 90% of people will say yes.
Yes.
They will say, I want to be financially free. However, probably 5%, less than that, will actually achieve financial freedom. So it's a big topic for a lot of people. So what is financial freedom? Financial freedom is waking up when you want to, doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, the business you want to be involved in, if you want to be in a business at all. You know, it is, to me, the ultimate goal and passion of life. However, to most people, I think it is. It is the ultimate goal.
100%. It is to me.
I think if you're involved in a business, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you strive to be successful, your ultimate goal is financial freedom, and that is it.
100%. And when people say freedom, when you say get up whenever you want, working whenever you want, it's not quite. People think you can sleep until 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's not quite that. It is. You still want to get up and do your work, but you're working on whatever you want to do. I
think that's where it comes into. Is, you know, ultimately people can be financially free if they didn't have a job.
Yep. And
if they were lived on benefits, but that is not financially free and fulfilling to them.
Yes.
So again, you know, getting up whenever you want to. Someone who has a business, who has worked the majority of their life to achieve financial freedom, is still going to get up at 5, 6, 7, early, because they have things to do. Because no matter what, no matter what, if you have a business and you want to grow that business, even if you are financially free, you still want to have an input. You still want to drive. Jeff Bezos, for instance, obviously pulled out of being a CEO of Amazon after 27 years. Yeah. I can guarantee you now, he doesn't lay into 1 o'clock in the afternoon and do nothing. He will still get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He will still read. He will still do his day-to-day routine. He probably will still go to the Amazon and look at things and, have his input.
100%.
But just because he's not CEO anymore and he's financially free doesn't mean he lays in.
100%.
As you said.
So, do you think you can be financially free working a 9 to 5?
No.
You can't?
Not at all.
Why is that?
Well, again, if you're working a 9 to 5, you cannot pick what you want to do and when you want to do it. For instance, you have to be at work for 9 and you have to leave at 5, unless they ask you to work longer than 5, which sometimes they probably do. And majority of problems they will. And, for instance, if you book dinner at 4 o'clock and you work until 5 and you have to ask your boss, sorry, Barry, can I leave an hour early because I've got dinner booked? And he says, no,
you're not free.
Financially free.
You are not
in
control
stuck.
Of your life. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
And technically, after a certain amount of years, let's try and work this out now. Maybe 60 of them, you may be financially free because you're going to be retiring. But even if you do retire, you probably still won't have enough money to be totally financially free because you're going to need money to live.
Yeah.
And that income that you've put away in your little retirement fund or whatever it is
that
you
scary
have,
figure's got to last you in 20 plus years.
Exactly. That probably most likely won't do and doesn't for a lot of people.
And that's terrifying.
Exactly.
That is terrifying. So I would... No, I agree with that. But I would also say I think you can be a certain level of financially free. working a 9 to 5. I think you can have the cash buffer,
Yeah.
the investments, the money coming in, working for you,
Yeah, I agree.
supplementing your salary.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, you're just not in control of your life.
Yeah.
When you're working for someone else, they're ultimately in control. And that's a big part of the financial free. That's the money side of it is huge.
Yeah.
But then it's that personal freedom. It's a bit that's the end goal basically. And like you said, you want to be working on yourself. So I think personally, to be financially free, you have to have your own business.
Yeah.
You cannot be working for someone else.
No, I agree. Don't forget though, there is different types of financial freedom.
Okay.
So just because, say, you haven't reached financial freedom yet, you can be financially secure. You can be financially independent.
Mhm.
You can be fairly financially free, or you can achieve absolute financial freedom.
Yep.
So there is multiple steps to actually being financially free. I'll just pop into some of them really.
Yeah.
So financial security is when your yearly income from investments is enough to meet the following needs for a total of 1 year. So for instance, if your outgoings for your house, for everything of your payments
Mhm.
is 16 grand, for instance,
Mhm.
if your investments equal £16,000 each year on year, you have financial security
Of passive income.
Ooh,
okay.
because the money that you actually intake from your investments is paying for that. The money that you do from your work is just a topper.
Okay, so what was that? It's financially secure.
Yeah.
What's the next
Financial
one?
security.
Security.
Financial independence is another one. So, for example, if you earn £200,000 a year, but you spend 150,000, then the number you would actually need to be financially free, financially independent, is 150.
Okay.
Thousand.
Yeah. Okay.
Next one, financial freedom, which we all know, is when your investments provide you with sufficient income for you to live the freedom you desire, which is
Whatever you want.
exactly.
Yeah. Freedom.
And that includes accounting for inflation as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Inflation
Yeah.
is a very, very big thing when it comes to
Cuts into your money.
exactly, and it does. And for people that aren't paying attention to inflation, you have to be very aware of what your investments
killer.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final one is, again, absolute financial freedom, and that is when your investment income provides you with the certainty that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, whatever you want, with whomever you want.
And so, is that achievable? Because that sounds like the dream.
It does sound like a dream. However, it is completely achievable. As I said at the start, okay, I'm going to readjust these figures a little bit. I would say almost 100% of people want to be financially free, absolute financial free. They want to do whatever they want, whenever they want, with whoever they want. However, I'm going to go as low as probably 3-4% actually totally achieve that. Because
I think that's still generous.
yeah, I completely agree. But completely, it is very hard to be absolute financial free. Absolutely, and it's very hard. But as you said, it's very achievable. But you need to set out complete certain steps. As you said, having a business, growing a business that supports you in a massive way, that is a massive company, and yeah, it is achievable.
But it's a hard, long process. I think that's why people don't get there, because it's such a long-term thing.
Agreed.
You've got to push past all the instant gratification, the distractions, all this is a nice car, I'm going to buy that. When you're at our age,
Yeah,
got to push through all that for quite a few years to get there. Unless you are one of these lucky lads, you see these guys on Instagram, they're living the dream.
Yeah,
they're probably not actually financially free at all, but they emulate that.
well, it's either that or you have. Sorry to put a little downer on it. It's called the wisdom sperm, where your dad is already financially free.
Right, yes.
You're born into a family. You are that sperm that comes into that family that already has financial freedom. And unfortunately, or not unfortunately, you are passed down that financial freedom. Even though you haven't gained it and achieved it, technically you are absolute financial free.
There are people like that. Yeah. But is that not a goal for both of us to have kids or grandkids
generational
that
wealth.
Live like that? Because Jesus, that's just awesome. So you can't hate on them, because they're just that's just awesome for them.
But sometimes the people that are actually born into it strive for more, and because they strive for more, their generational wealth
Compounds.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Granted, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, they weren't born into that, but I'm sure of you that some of the top 100 richest people on earth were born into it.
Yeah,
I assure you they are.
Fair. The rich get richer.
Exactly.
And that will always be the way. I think no matter what, the poor do get poorer. And it's not because of I suppose you could blame it some on the system, getting political here. Blimey. But it's very personal as well. I think you make the decisions.
Yeah, I agree.
To be poor or to be rich. It's tough. That's actually quite tough to say.
Yeah, it is. And, even if you feel like you are getting poorer, just for instance, of starting a business, if you go from living paycheck to paycheck and you go to a corner shop, and you buy groceries from that guy, you're feeding his pay. But there's an investor above all of that who is paying for his shop and investing. And even though he's living off that income, the investor is taking his income and your income and is gaining twice as much.
Yeah, so it's the patient people. Don't know where I'm going with that. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to mess it up. But yeah, if you appreciate money or if you understand how money works, you normally find.
And again, people use money the wrong way.
Yeah,
money is not evil, but people see it as evil. Money is a tool. Yeah. It's there to be used, and people don't use it for the correct way, and that is when people become poorer and in debt, and that's when you fall into a rut, unfortunately.
By the liabilities.
Yeah.
It's the way the world is. Like, so we've grown up in this situation where you do buy the cars and you do buy the liabilities that cost you money.
Yeah,
and it's no one talks about buying assets. The only asset people say they buy is houses. Yeah. That's like the goal at our level of on the. I don't know what you call it.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. That's the only thing they want to buy. Everything else is just an absolute waste of money.
It's funny when you go to someone. You could talk to someone and go, "Oh, are you renting?" Or you bought? "Oh, yeah, I bought my own house." "Oh, yeah, when did you buy your own house?" "Oh, wow, you must be rich as." No, that's not the case. Just because you bought a house at 21 doesn't mean that you're rich. You can be renting and be twice as rich because it suits you.
100%.
It suits. Having a house and having a mortgage is a big burden on someone's head.
It is.
Believe it or not.
It is.
And paying that rent, it's £300 a month for a room, which seems like quite a lot at the time. But actually, the money that you're saving and it provides a roof over your head, which is what you want. And you don't have a family at the moment. What's the...
Exactly. If you're spending the difference on buying assets and building your brand, building so on and so forth,
yeah,
you can use that as an advantage to grow your income.
Exactly.
Grow your financial freedom potential.
And I'm not hating on people who own houses, by the way, because I do.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the difference between me and you. You've bought and I'm still renting.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just two different methods. I think there's not one way of doing it right.
No.
There are so many different ways of doing it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's that works for you. It will not work for me. I know it won't work for me. I've got quite a good cheap amount of rent that I pay. Like bills all in, and I live in a lovely area I think anyway. I'm going to sneeze.
But I find it funny because, the amount of people that come to me when I was the age I was, and they've said, "Wow, you're so lucky to have a house that you've always wanted and have the things that you always wanted and, live with your girlfriend and so on and so forth," is really funny because, yes, it's amazing to have those things and I'm very fortunate to have that. But just because I have all those things, I wasn't nowhere near being wealthy, and I'm not now when I bought the house.
Yeah.
So, just because I do own a house doesn't mean I'm wealthy. And granted, it is an asset that I can sell, but I can't flip it quickly.
It freezes your money.
It does.
Like how long is it going to? It's going to take a long time for you to get what's equity in that house. Isn't it?
100%. Yeah, you can't walk out tomorrow and sell it.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
You're not
like
getting that 250 or whatever the
it doesn't
price
work
is.
like that.
Yeah.
It does not work like that. So,
and I think a lot of people see it like that. I'm putting my money into my own. It is. You are putting your money back. You're giving your money back to yourself. But you're also paying a lot of interest on that. Loan, but that's a whole different podcast. And I know renting, they consider it a waste of money, but it's only a waste of money if you are then not doing anything with that added
income.
Yeah, the excess money. If it is cheaper to rent. This is a whole other Getting distracted. Financial freedom. All right. So why is it the ultimate goal?
Again, I think it depends on person.
Yeah. For us,
I mean, at the end of the day, to reach absolute financial freedom is the dream, because I want to do whatever I want and when I want. And again, as we mentioned, that is not so I can wake up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and not do anything with my day. It's because I want to work on things that give me a increase in my life, my overall passion, my drive, and that is the whole point of financial freedom to me. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. I don't want to. I don't live paycheck to paycheck, but I don't want to see anyone fall into that trap of living paycheck to paycheck. And being financially free, and I say absolute financial free, is the goal, because it doesn't exist. You know, if you are absolutely financially free, you have a great mindset in creating new businesses, new ideas, increasing your growth in your current business. You know, whether that's investing, trading, so on and so forth. It's just to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, for instance, and have your own time to do your own thing, and sit there for as long as you want to, working on the substance that is going to create you unbelievable amounts of wealth and generational wealth at that. And you can just sit there and do that all day and not have to worry about going to see Barry Bagels at work, and he's going to moan at you for days on end saying, "Oh, have you done that job yet? Have you done this job yet? Have you done that job yet? Have you signed this piece of paperwork yet?" No, I don't want to do that. I want to do what works for me and what's going to make me wealthy and passionate about what I'm doing.
So going from that, it's not all about wealth, though, is it? The financially free is about money, obviously, but it's not there in that. What you were just saying, there's more than just wealth.
Yeah,
you want to leave your 9 to 5 because you're not getting much value. You're not fulfilling your purpose.
Exactly.
You want to fulfill a purpose. That getting up at 4 o'clock and doing your thing, that's fulfilling your purpose. And as a human, if you're chasing your goals and fulfilling your purpose in life, you feel you're just at another level. If you're working a 9 to 5, and if it is your passion, fantastic, that's insane.
Yeah.
But if it's not, you're not fulfilling your purpose, you're going to be upset about your work. You're going to want to go out and party and forget about the day job, and you're going to want to buy the nice car just to make yourself feel better. But if you're chasing your purpose, you're going to get there a lot quicker to the financial freedom, because I don't know, it's just you're getting out of the rat race. You're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're forgetting about what's going on around you, and you tunnel vision towards one goal.
It goes back to the very, very start of, I think, what we mentioned maybe in like episode 2 or 3 or something, in doing something that you love. You know, for instance, if you pick something, for instance, if you have no idea or no interest in the financial markets or no interest in buying and selling cars, and you go into it because you saw someone on Instagram, you know a friend that's doing it and they're earning a lot of money from it, and you go into it because they I can be wealthy, it's not going to have the same effect on you as what it does to them. You know, they do it because they enjoy it. Granted, it brings them a healthy amount of sum of money, and, you know, that is a reward for them doing what they love. But just because it works for them and they have passion about it and they have drive and they have the time to spend doing that, it's not going to bring you the same fulfillment. And as you said, you know, that 9 to 5 could bring you that fulfillment that you absolutely love. And you'll jump in ship to change to do something that you don't love but can get you financial freedom. But because the love isn't there for it, you're not going to achieve it and you're going to fail.
100%, yeah. You need that aspect, don't you, to be able to get that next level. So it comes to, what do you value more? No, it's both. Time and money is what I value the most. Yeah. But which do you value most of them?
So for me, it's time. And we spoke about this yesterday. And it's quite funny, you know, there's been a few people that have left a current workplace and they've gone on to bigger and better things, and it's great for them. Now, we said about, you know, is it going to be great for us? Well, there's two sides of an argument. There's yes, because as we've said, we value time and money. Our money is going to increase, but our time is going to decrease. And what do we favour more? We favour time, which is where we can do what we want to do and work towards our goal of absolute financial freedom, or money, where we lose our time because we're travelling more, we're further away, but we gain initial money in the fact that we get a pay rise that's quite sizable and we can enjoy that. It's a swing and roundabout argument, isn't it?
It's a tough one.
It's hard.
Yeah, because there's also the fact that you're getting that extra money from the pay rise, but you've got less time, but you're getting extra the money to hit your cash buffer goals, hit your investment goals.
Yeah.
sooner. It's tough.
And I think to me the clear cut answer for this is how I think about it. If I was away and I was earning that extra money, but I'm not doing what I want to do, yes, okay, I'm earning that extra cash. But if it's not, and I'm putting it to work, but if I don't have the time to spend to learn to invest, to learn to trade, or execute my trades, that is my passion. That is what I want to do. Granted, if that brings me money, that's great. But I'm doing it not because I want the money. I'm doing it for the love.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I like it.
Yeah.
And that is where I want to spend my time. Spending time in a hotel with sleeping next to a guy I absolutely despise and getting up to work and going to, spend 20 hours with a guy I don't like and going back and doing the same thing just because I earn an extra 5-10 grand. Is it really what I want to do? No, I value time. And that time is spent doing what I want to do. And again, it comes to absolute financial freedom. It's about time. If you value time, and time is, the biggest thing that you can have, then what do you pick? You pick time.
100%.
And that is why we're going for absolute financial freedom.
Yep.
Because time is our biggest value.
Great answer. I'm motivated. Yeah, I don't know what to say after that.
I think, again, there's a point in life, if you're 16, 17, 18, and you have no clue of financial freedom, you don't have a family to get home to, you don't have any goals or ambitions that you currently want to work towards, as in starting a business, having ideas for a business, and you really enjoy your job, as you said, and you're happy working that 9 to 5, going away, and you can increase your pay by changing jobs to a bigger company and earning that next step, as in from an assistant manager to manager, then by all means do that. That increases your money, which increases your happiness because you enjoy the job that you're doing. But if you're in a job that you don't enjoy, and whether it is a 9 to 5, and if you want to work an 8 till 6, okay, but it's something that you enjoy doing, granted, okay, your time is missing by 2 hours a day, but if you enjoy it, overall, your life is going to be a hell of a lot more fulfilled than what it is stuck in that 9 to 5 that you absolutely hate. It becomes a change when you have the passion, the drive, and the ideas of actually growing a company, starting a company, and changing that you actually want to reduce your time at work and spend time increasing and growing that company.
So, going from that, how do you find your purpose? Or find that, how do you know, when you're 16, 18, how do you know what you love? How do you find what you love?
At the end of the day, it becomes natural to you.
Yeah. And
it really does. I think going, as we said before we started this podcast, speaking about today, 2020, 2021 is the biggest year for people coming into the markets, right? And I can tell you now, those newcomers haven't got a clue, haven't got educated. They've just come to the market because they've seen the explosion in cryptocurrency, the explosion in apps like Robinhood and Trading 212 and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And have just seen that social media has grown and people are seeing these people have these big wins. They're not seeing the losses that is caused behind them. And, they're seeing the great marketing skills that people have out there. And they've just gone, do you know what? If he can do it, if my neighbour can do it, if my bloke at work can do it, then I'm going to do it. And I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and I'm going to be rich. And that's not the case, So to find the passion that you enjoy is something that falls to you automatically. For instance, if your day job is a lifeguard, all right, but in your spare time, you can think nothing better than working on your car, right? You have your ultimate passion is just to work on your car, make it go faster, make it look cooler. And, that is where you want to spend your most amount of money and time on. Well, you've just answered your own question, mate. Your ultimate goal, because you have nothing else in your life, is working on that car. Therefore, you want to become a mechanic. You want to become you want to have a car styling type of job, a detailer or anything like that. Something in that form of love and passion and drive that comes to you automatically, that you don't find, I have to do this work on my car because I want it to be. No, I'm going to do this because I like it. It's my passion. I enjoy it.
So for the guys listening out there, when they're doing whatever they're doing for 9 to 5, could their passion be what's just occupying their mind when they're just brainlessly working away?
This is where it comes in scary, isn't it? So again, people that you work around, you tend to have conversations, obviously, as you do. And for instance, if you're very passionate about something and you try to have a conversation with someone that doesn't have the same goals and inspirations as you, and you're talking about something, I don't know, markets, for instance, and price, and you're talking about, I don't know, have you seen Apple's bringing out this new car or so on and so forth? And they're going, what do you want about? What do you want to talk about that for? I want to go and talk about how fast my car's gone from 0 to 60, mate. I don't want to talk about what Apple's doing. And, it just changes your, I can't talk to him anymore because I've just closed down. But eventually you're going to find someone around that is going to sort of have the same aspirations as you. And it's quite nice to find someone that actually does.
Wants to talk about the same subjects and so on and so forth. Yeah.
And it's hard to do that because you seem, again, if you come across the wrong person who's very loudmouthed and think they know everything, you go to someone and you say, have you seen what this company's doing? Like, what are you on about, mate? Why are you talking about company? You're never going to be rich. You're never going to be financially free. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. You don't know nothing. Like, just, go and put some spanners in that drawer or go and clean that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So I think we've mentioned in the podcast before, it's small minds talk about people, good minds think about ideas, and
exactly
great minds think about business and future and so on. And it's you feel judged. So when you're around, I don't want to call them small minds, but people that just want to talk about people, gossip and bitching and all that sort of stuff, you can't go and talk to them about money or, it's just the conversation is different and it's noticeably different.
Yeah.
And if you are trying to become financially free, find your purpose, you don't need to be talking about people. You need to get away. You need to get away from those groups.
You need to, and it sounds harsh, and it really does sound harsh, but if you find yourself in a situation where you are not that type of person that does bitch and gossip about someone, walk away, shut your mouth, and concentrate on what you're doing, and eventually the problem will go away. And it does, because it works, because I've done it.
Yeah. Same with negative people.
Yeah.
We know some incredibly negative people that find joy in being negative. In everything they do, get away from them. They're the same. It's a disease. It will take hold, and you'll then go negative into everything that you see. If you're focused in your own business, your own side hustles, whatever it is, if you've got someone negative around you, it will leak into whatever you're doing. So again, shut yourself away. Get away from it. Control your environment.
It's a circle of competence, isn't it? That's what it is. Be around people that want to be in the same place as you.
It's a saying, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
And if your 5 closest friends, the people you spend the most time with, if they're all negative and talking about each other, you're just going to be in the same place in 5 years. And that's terrifying to me. I realised during 2020, and obviously had a lot of time to reflect, if you're staying still is absolutely, because you're not, it's terrifying because you're not actually staying still, you're going backwards because time is moving forward.
Yeah, you're going back.
Everything's moving forward. If you're staying still, you're moving backwards. So you need to be trying to get ahead of that. And if you do spend a year going backwards, you're well behind where you could have been if you were just putting in that day-to-day work, following your purpose.
I'll tell you what now, and this is why financial freedom is such a big goal to me. I can sit here, right, and just think of financial freedom, and it's just like, wow, it just excites me.
Yeah.
Just talking about it, it gets me excited, and that is why you can tell that it's a passion. If you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking of financial freedom and it doesn't excite you and it doesn't make you, I want to do something, I want to go and work, then financial freedom is not for you. And unfortunately, it's hard to say, and it's really hard to decide that financial freedom isn't for you. But if it isn't, and if it's not making you jump at the opportunity to grow, then it's not for you, and that's fine. But you need to find something that you want to be good at and best in. And as we said, being a 9 to 5 and doing that 9 to 5 job, that could be it for you. And if that's your biggest passion and biggest drive, don't let that change your opinion. If that is really what you're good at and you're really aspirational about that, then that's it.
Could it be? So I remember when you first introduced me to this ideology,
journey.
The journey.
Yeah.
Part of me didn't believe it was possible. Coming from where we come from, you don't think it's possible to get out of. You can't be the Jeff Bezos. You can't be the financially free, having money coming in from investments. It's just nobody we know at this level. Yeah. It's just unheard of. It's for the wealthy. Do you think if they don't want to be financially free, is it because they don't believe in the goal? Or is it just because they can't see it happening.
That's a very good point.
Do they just need to flick their mindset and then boom, they might be able to find their purpose and find their route.
It's a very good point. Yeah, you're right. Some people, again, this is why we encourage you to share this podcast with people, because people who, it's hard, but if you're sitting on social media and you flick it through and you see all these people making loads of money and so on and so forth, and it's just a gimmick, right? But you listen to podcasts and it changes someone's life. And okay, it's not changing your life, but if your friend is really, really struggling with something that they're doing, and yet all you've done is just share this podcast with them, and they've gone, mate, you've just changed my life. I really appreciate that. Then not only have you done your friend a favour, but you've done yourself a favour, because you've actually shown someone that you care.
Yeah. And
being caring could be one of your next steps. That could turn into coaching. You want to coach someone how to change their life. There you are. You've just you made that step. So just sharing stuff with people is a massive change. And like you said, the initial step of that's not real, because all you saw before you started on the journey is social media ads that were there and exposing people to being fake, and you see the liars and the fakes out there, and it's hard, and you can't tell the difference because they're so well and they're so true at telling, making you believe that because they're great at marketing. Yeah, it's very common, but trust me now when I say it's true, it's achievable. Just look back at Warren Buffett and just do some research. Just look back at Jeff Bezos and do some research. The kid wasn't born into money, but look at him now. Okay.
The wealthiest man on the planet.
Yeah, it's very, very achievable, and it is. And if you don't believe it, you have to research it. And when you do research it and you understand these are the processes that he took, he didn't start in a massive, massive warehouse and where he is now, and all the warehouses across the world, and the amount of vans and people that work for him. It doesn't start like that. It started in his shed or in his garage. Okay, just as Apple did. Okay, and I'm sure Microsoft did, and many other companies
Disney
did the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't start from the biggest place. It starts from I don't know, like in a kitchen around a dining room table. Okay, but that initial step is a stepping stone in their journey, and their next step is when they start to bring in income in. That is the next step you see. You don't see what they started off unless you look and you hunt and you find actually they started from here, and it's true. They've done that. They believe that. Now I can see why. They've got this rich because they started from this step and they took this step into this process, into this process.
And you don't see their failures.
Yeah.
Failing is huge in this world of being successful. It's absolutely massive. A local story at home in the UK, Ben Francis, owner of Gymshark, he tried to create 5 businesses before he started Gymshark. It was just like Gymshark was his 6th. And they all pretty much failed. Like, obviously, none of them are going today, apart from Gymshark. And now it's worth over $1 billion in total market cap, whatever. He was on a podcast the other day, and he was talking about how he just combined all of his passions, a community and fitness, and put them together. And boom, it exploded because that was his passion, his purpose. He motivated as hell, and just kept on getting after it. And now he is financially free, but he's still working. See, Gymshark. That's his goal.
I can tell you now, he will probably never ever retire.
Very good point. What is retirement really? Retirement is a word that the government have made up.
Yeah. Do you actually know what retirement comes from?
No.
The very, very time, I can't remember the exact date, I think it's around 1913, is Henry Ford started retirement because his workers were unhappy with the pay that they were getting. But he changed their mindset in thinking, if you work here for 40 years at the age of 60, well, being 60 back in those days was very hard to reach. But if you stay here for this length of time, then we're going to give you so-and-so payments per month if you pay into this pot. And that Ford Motor Company started the retirement factor.
Really?
Yeah, true story. So it started from an industrial age.
Jeez.
And it's been carried on 100 years later, 108 years later, it's still going.
And it's bigger than ever. Everyone's like, oh, don't forget about your retirement. Wait for your retirement.
67, can't wait.
Exactly. And it's terrifying because everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
It's like, at our level, you go up to the likes of Bezos, not even that high, like just halfway up the ranks of the economic scale.
Yeah.
And they're not retiring. They They don't need to put away for their retirement. They got that ready to go.
Yeah.
They can be working till they drop, and it's because they're working on what they want to work on. They're not working for someone else, and they're not working for someone else for 40 years until they get too old to go and then do what they want. They just do what they want when they want, and that's the goal. Don't retire.
But it goes back to the fact that you need to find what you're passionate in.
Yeah.
Because again, that is how people achieve absolute financial freedom. Because it's not a chore. It's not something you have to wake up to do. It's something you waking up wanting to do. And that goes for reaching that retirement age. It doesn't matter. Warren Buffett's 90-something years old, and he gets up at the same time every single day. He goes to Mackey's, and if he buys a double breakfast sandwich or something like that, it's been a good day. If he doesn't, he buys a bacon sandwich because there's 19p difference. But that is the routine that he's carried out for however many years, and he does that day in, day out for the rest of his life. Not because he has to, but because he wants to, because he enjoys it. He isn't retired. He could have retired 30 years ago.
Yeah,
he could have retired 50 years ago if he wanted to. But he does it because he enjoys it, because it's passion. That is why retiring is just a gimmick, in my personal point of view.
It's literally a gimmick, yeah. That's a very good point. Made up.
It is. It is made up.
Make you feel better about working all your life.
Yeah.
For someone you don't want to work for, or doing something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Exactly.
So to round up,
here you go.
Finish it off. 3 points to... Give us 3 points to become financially free or have financial freedom. With purpose, all those sort of things.
Well, I
Top
think
3.
Well, I'd start off with, as I said before, many times you need to find something you're passionate in.
Okay,
that is the first step for me.
Find your passion.
Yeah, if you're not passionate, as I said, in anything that you do, in the thing that you're working towards, and it's not easy to get up and go and work at it, you're never going to become financially freedom in that field. You're never become financially free in that field. And I'm sorry, but that is just the way it is. If you are good at gaming and it is your passion, and all you do is wake up and think about playing that game, that could be your field to go into. So think about that. Number 2, I would say, now you found the purpose and it works, you have to set a plan around that.
Nice. I
think planning is, again, as we mentioned before on this podcast, is massive. And if you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. And that's just it, okay?
What's that saying? A fool can beat a genius with a plan and something like that.
Yeah, you're right. A bad plan is better than no plan.
100%.
Let's be realistic, okay? Even if it's not very detailed, and, it's not down to the months and the days that we work at and the weeks that we work at, and, but having a plan is very important, and goals around that plan. Number 3 is going to be chase it.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that. Get after it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have what you enjoy. You have a plan. Work at it. And just because, as you said, it doesn't work once, it doesn't work twice, that third time, that fourth time, fifth, sixth, seventh, it's going to be a hit. And it will be a hit if you work towards it and you believe in it and you drive and you create and you drive some more and you create some more and you continue. And no matter how many times you get knocked back, there's going to be someone there that is going to help you on your way. Even if they're not, you are going to step up to the challenge because you think this is going to be your way to become financially free. And that is it. That is your 3. That's my 3 points.
Perfect. Step 1, find your purpose. Step 2, create a plan. Step 3, get after it.
Exactly.
That's good. Leave it there.
We'll leave it on that. Yeah. So again, please go and review our podcast. It's going to be on all the platforms, YouTube, all of them. Go and follow us on Instagram at Finding Success. Get involved on YouTube as well. Send us some DMs. If you want an accountability partner or anything like that, get in touch with us. We can help you out with that. Any questions, get involved. Please leave a review. It helps the podcast massively. And I think on that, that's enough. I'll leave it to you.
Success is available for everybody, so why should you settle for less?